In the last video, we saw how to create a taxonomy and we already discussed what the use case is. In this video, we'll see the next component called digitize. So, what is digitize? Digitization involves extracting machine readable text from an incoming file, enabling a robot to comprehend its contents and subsequently take relevant actions. During digitization, once we have sorted out the column structure, the next step is to change the whole document into a digital format that machines can understand. This is the initial step we take for files going through document understanding processing. Takes the file path and it gives back two things. First thing is the extraction of text from the file, and that entire thing will be stored in a string variable. And the second important thing is DOM, which is document object model. So this is a JSON object with basic details like name, content type, page numbers, text length, number of pages, and also it digs deeper with info like page rotation, language, content, and coordinates of every word spotted in the file. So from its setup, we have to pick an OCR engine. It is just there just in case if your PDF have images. In that case, if you have to read the data from the images, then we the OCR engine comes into the picture, and then using that OCR engine, it extracts the information from that PDF. So mainly when it is not a machine readable, not in a machine readable format, then the OCR engine kicks in. How to choose that? How to choose an OCR engine? Try out all the OCR engines we got, play around with the settings and see which one fits your project. These are the types that are available. You can test all of these. Now let's see what are its properties. First one, apply OCR on PDF. So this is used to decide whether we should run the OCR thing on PDFs or not. If you choose yes, it scans every page of the PDF with OCR. If you go for no, it only pulls out the text that's already digital. The default is auto, where the system figures out if the document needs OCR based on what it is. Second one is degree of parallelism. It tells the robot how many pages to check at the same time. It's like how many pages you have to process parallelly. So if you put -1, it's like saying use almost all cores in the on the machine. If you specify a positive number, it uses that many processes. So by default, it's -1. And the third option we have detect checkboxes. So as the name suggests, while turning a document into a digital version, this option spots any checkboxes are available or not. By default, it will be true. And finally, the document path. So it will be like the path of the document that you want to turn into a digital format. Now let's see how to use digitization. So in previous demo, we have seen how to load the taxonomy. After that, we have to create few variables. First one is du API key. So this will be your API key. I've already discussed the same thing in the previous video. If you want, you can navigate through that. So you'll find that du API key thing in environment setup video. So you can check that. And the input folder. So this is the folder where I store the input files. In our case, we have two input files. Inside we have damage report and then form. So we have to extract information from these two images. Sorry, these two PDFs. So we keep that in input folder. And next I've created a output folder where I'm planning to store the output, final output. So those are these variables. And then now we have to take a for each loops because we have more than one file, right? So we have to loop in through each extraction. So for that, get all the files. You can use directly dot get files. Then you have to mention the path. So I have a variable there, so I can directly mention the path input folder. So each time it will store the current item, it will store the current file in current item variable. So I'll take a clock message. Let's see the file name. Print the file name. We have path uh, class. So from there you can get the file name, dot get file name, and then you can give the entire path, which is current item. So this will give the file name. And now we'll start the digitization step. So we have digitize activity. So here, as I previously mentioned, it will take document path as an input. It will give document text and then document object model. So Other properties like apply OCR in PDF. So by default, it will be in auto, which is like in case if there is any image inside the PDF, which is not a machine readable format, in that case, it will automatically apply the OCR. So for that, we use this property as I discussed before. Degree of parallelism, as I already mentioned, it's like how many cores in parallel you have to use, you wanted to use from the CPU. You keep one, it'll use the maximum ones. Did a checkbox, it'll by default be it'll be true. If there are any checkbox, it'll detect. So we let's give the file path. So current item will have the file path. Then you just have to click on Control K and then create a variable there itself, and it will automatically assign the type. Doc text. Let's see what it gives the type of that, and then digitize DOM. Now if you open the variables, if you see, have a doc text from body for each body, and then this is type of document. Document. And so these are the input and outputs. Additionally, we have to configure an OCR also, right? So by default, we'll get UiPath document OCR. So I'm selecting that, and then you can see API key is already it took by default one. So I've assigned my API key here. So I use the variable. I use this same variable for all the cases in upcoming steps. So I use that, and then endpoint will be since I'm using UiPath document OCR, the endpoint will be this one. You can directly mention this in string, and then you can leave this empty, else you can give a default variable called image, so it will only take image. So if you search for image, you will have a image variable, so I'll use that. And then timeout, I'm leaving it as it is. So that's it. So if you run the bot now, it will convert this entire PDF and into a text, I mean into text, and then it will give extra parameters of the document into DOM. Now let's keep a log message, and then we'll keep a breakpoint, and then we'll see the output. The breakpoint and run the it took damage report, then it stopped here. Let's see the variables. So firstly document text. So here you can see the extracted information. So from PDF it extracted all the information, text information, and that is been stored in doc text. And then if you see the DOM, these are like the inner parameters of that PDF, like how many pages are there, how many what is the confidence used. See here, so confidence, and then scroll to the left, pages, number of pages of one. You can directly use this from DOM variable. You can directly access pages and length, all these methods. So you don't have to use a separate activity for getting the indexes and all those things. And rotation, if the image is rotated or images are slightly skewed, then it will give the skew angle as well. So in digital cases, it will not happen. But if you have invoices or something, or pay slips or something, which are snapshots, in that case images might I mean documents might skew. So in that case it will give the skew angle, so that you can adjust the skew angle and then you can extract the information. Few tips when you digitize the document. First thing is use the activity inside a retry scope activity, which is placed in a try catch activity, which enables bot to retry the digitation case in case of any error. So in some cases, if the error is a simple one, like getting an API, it failed when it failed to retrieve an API key in the second try, it might work. So in that cases, if you just keep it in a retry scope, the flow will be continuously happening without break. And select the OCR engine based on the documents, content, and required features. All OCR engines may not support all scenarios. For example, use UiPath document OCR and OmniPage OCR if you are required text. I mean, if your extract is like a handwritten data. And make sure the same OCR engine is used when configuring all activities. For example, we'll see in further stages like what I meant. And always perform OCR benchmark testing when selecting the best OCR for your scenario. Additionally, you can find my code in GitHub. I'll be giving this URL also. So there I will be uploading here in DU1. I'll be giving this URL. You can open that, you can download, and then you can quickly uh, do the practice. And if you have any questions, you can always ping in the comment section.